नमस्कार। यहाँ पे आपको इंग्लिश मीडियम के 9वें कक्षा के विज्ञान का जो केमिस्ट्री का प्रश्न पेपर है उसकी हम यहाँ पे चर्चा करेंगे। तो वीडियो अंत तक देखिएगा जिससे आपको पता चलेगा कैसे प्रश्नों में किस तरह से आंसर आते हैं। जो भी एग्ज़ाम आती है अभी उसमें सभी को मोस्ट टाइम पे क्वेश्चन आंसर ऐसे पूछे जा सकते हैं, इसलिए वीडियो अंत तक देखिएगा। देखते जाते हैं सेक्शन वाइज क्वेश्चन आंसर। सेक्शन फर्स्ट सेक्शन ए वाला है आंसर द फॉलोइंग क्वेश्चन, उसमें 10 मार्क्स है। पहला वाला है डिफाइन डिस्प्लेसमेंट रिएक्शन, तो उसका आंसर लिख सकते हैं। फर्स्ट वन, अ रिएक्शन इन विच वन एलिमेंट displaces or remains another element from their solution is known as displacement reaction. Now second one is give the true or false statement. 3Fe plus 4H2O gives Fe3O4 plus 4H2. What is the answer of given option? The first one is Fe get oxidized, so that is true. Fe get oxidized. Second one, water get reduced. Water get reduced is true. Water is reducing agent is false. Water is oxidizing agent is true. Then third one is give the displacement reaction of copper sulfate and copper chloride CuSO4 and copper CuCl2 by Zn and Pb. Then give the answer is Zn plus CuSO4 gives ZnSO4 plus Cu. The above is the displacement reaction of CuSO4 by Zn, and Pb plus CCl2 gives the PbCl2 plus Cu. Then the above is the displacement reaction of CuCl2 by Pb. Fourth one is the Fe2O3 plus 2Al gives Al2O3 plus 2Fe is example of which is example of displacement reaction. Fifth one is define orbital with examples, and sixth one is what is the oxidation and reduction defined by the reference of oxygen. So what is orbit? Fifth answer, the circular path around the nucleus where the electrons revolve is known as orbit. For example, K1, L2, M3 and N4 is orbit. Orbital is the region of the orbit where the probability of electron is more. For example, SPDF, also S less than P less than D less than F, coordinate to energy level diagram. 6. So oxidation is a reaction in which the elements gains oxygen is known as the oxidation reaction. Example is 2Cu plus 2O2 gives 2CuO. It contains heat, and this Cu oxidize, and this process is oxidation. And after reduction in which the elements loses oxygen is known as the reduction reaction. Example is CuO plus H2 gives Cu plus H2O, and this CuO contains with oxygen, and this oxygen loses, then you obtain only Cu. So this process is reduction. After second section B, answer the following question. It contains 10 marks. First one is write note on when Mg react with O2 by burning, and the answer is according to the activity that when a magnesium ribbon is burnt in O2, it forms MgO, magnesium oxide, as their product. 2Mg plus O2 gives 2MgO. It gives heat. Here the magnesium ribbon burns with a dazzling white flame is the flame of burner and changes into the white powder. Here the white powder is of the magnesium oxide. It is formed due to the reaction between Mg and O2 present in the air. So this is the figure of this pair of tongues, magnesium ribbon by of 3 or 4 semi burner, Bose glass and magnesium oxide. This burning should be done by keeping it as far as possible from your eyes. Then after second question, give all observation when chemical change occur. So that answer is, when a chemical change occurs, the following observation takes place. First one is change in state of the reactants. Second one is change in color of the reactants. Third one is evolution of gas during the reaction. Fourth one is change in temperature of the reaction mixture dividing the reaction. Then after third one is, what is the combination reaction? Explain giving 3 examples. Answer is, a reaction in which 2 or more substances or reactants react to form a single product is called the combination reaction. Also, a reaction in which a single product is formed from 2 or more reactants is called combination reaction. Example of combination reaction is formation of slacked lime. CaO plus H2O gives CaOH twice plus heat. Burning of coal, C plus O2 gives CO2. Formation of water from H2 and O2. 2H2O plus O2 gives 2H2O. Then after fourth one is, respiration is a exothermic process. Explain. Then answer is, we need energy to stay alive. We get this energy from the food we eat. During the digestion of food, these food particles are broken down into simple forms. For example, rice, potatoes, bread, etc. contains carbohydrates. These carbohydrates are broken down to form glucose. This glucose reacts with the oxygen present in the cells of our body to provide energy. Since energy is reduced during the reaction, it is an exothermic reaction. The special name of this reaction is respiration. Thus, respiration is an exothermic process. That equation is glucose C6H12O6 plus 6O2 aqua is gives 6CO2 aqua plus 6H2O liquid plus energy. Now fifth question is, explain decomposition of silver chloride and silver bromide ley giving reaction. Then the answer is, to study photochemical decomposition of silver chloride is the aim here. Take about 2 gram of silver chloride is in a china dish. Observe the color of silver chloride. Place this dish in sunlight for some time. Note the change in color of AgCl. Here the white color of AgCl is changed to grey due to decomposition of AgCl into Ag and Cl2. 2AgCl gives sunlight 2Ag plus Cl2. In this case, AgBr, silver bromide, behave in the same way. 2AgBr gives sunlight to Ag plus Br2. AgCl and AgBr are used in black and white photography in films. Now section C, answer the following questions. Here 2 questions, 6 marks. First one is, explain electrolysis of water with diagram. Then electrolysis process of the which given. First of all, you have to write the M to study the electrolysis of water. You have to write the activity of what types of these contents elements and also how to process. So activity, write like this: take a plastic mug, drill 2 holes at its base, fix rubber stoppers in these holes, insert carbon electrodes in these rubber stoppers, connect these electrodes to a 6-volt battery, fill the mug with water such that the electrodes are immersed. Add few drops of dilute sulfuric acid to increase the conductivity of water. Take 2 test tubes filled with water and them over the two carbon electrodes so that we can see the formation of bubbles. Switch on the current, the leave the apparatus distributed for some time. So here you to seen this uh, two stoppers and these electrodes are anode and this is the cathode. These rubber stoppers are attached with this mug and there is two rod carbon that is contains O2 gas and this contains the H2 gas. So this process is electrolysis of water and this contains joint with 6-volt battery. After you have to write observation, the bubbles are observed at both the electrodes. These bubbles displace water in the test tubes. Once the test tubes are filled with respective gases, remove them carefully. Test the gases by bringing the mouth close to the burning candle. It is observed that O2 does not burn but H2 burns with the popping sound. According to the reaction 2H2O electrolysis 2H2 plus O2. 2 moles of H2 are formed and 1 mole of O2 is formed. Thus the ratio of the gases formed is 2:1 by volume. As oxygen gas is produced less at anode-less space is there in the figure as compared to H2 gas in the cathode. And the second question of this, explain oxidation and reduction by giving any 3 example of chemical reaction. So you have to write the oxidation process. A chemical reaction in which the elements or compounds gain oxygen and loses hydrogen are known as oxidation reaction, or a chemical reaction in which the oxide number of elements increases is known as the oxidation reaction. So you have to write equation 2Cu plus O2 gives 2CO2 heat. Here one of Cu increases from 0 to 2, so Cu is oxidized to CuO 0 to plus 2. Okay, so Cu is oxidized to CO2 CuO, and after reduction chemical reaction is which the oxidation number of the elements decreases is known as a reduction reaction. So you have to write down the equation CuO plus H2 gives heat and it reacts with Cu. So Cu is contains 1 and after this O is joined with H2 plus H2O. Here the one of the Cu decreases from plus 2 to plus 2 to 0. So the Cu is reduced in this reaction. So reduction in which one element is oxidized where the other element is reduced is called the oxide reduction reaction or redox reaction. So you have to write the examples of the oxidation reaction. CO2 C plus O2 gives CO2, Cu plus O2 gives CuO, Mg plus O2 gives MgO. Here C, Cu or Mg are the oxidized to CO2, CuO and MgO. Here the example of reduction reaction, CuO plus H2 gives Cu plus H2O, CuO2 plus H2 gives CO plus H2O, MgO plus H2 gives Mg plus H2O. So here the CuO, CO2 and MgO are reduced to Cu, CO or Mg respectively. Then after you have to write down section D, answer the following section, and this question is contains 4 marks. First is balance the equation with all steps. You have to write down all steps of the balancing the equation. So first one is here the equation. You have to write down L plus H2SO4 gives L2SO4 thrice plus H2. First step, to balance a chemical equation, first draw with all elements of the chemical formula with a box. Do not change anything inside the boxes while balancing the equation. Write down this type of boxes on these equations. Second step is list the number of atoms of different elements present in the unbalanced equation. So atoms or elements is Al, H, S or S and O. Number of atoms in reactants is LSS and number of product is in RHS. So first one is Al is 1 in LHS and RHS is 2. H is 2 both side. S is LHS in one side and RHS is 3. O is in LHS is 4 and RHS is 12. So third step is it is more convenient to start balancing a chemical equation by the compound which contains maximum number of atoms. Here you have to find out the maximum number of atoms is oxygen. This contains 12 atoms. It may be a reactant or product. In that select the elements which contains maximum number of atoms. We select the L2 and O. So to equalize the number of atoms with the oxygen, first one is atom of oxygen initial to balance in reactants 4 in H2SO4. So you have to write down here is 12 and here is 3. So you have to multiply with 4. So 4 into 3 gives 12. So then you have to 3 multiply with LHS side. So this type of LHS side you have to multiply with 3. So this equation will be put at here 3 and this partially balanced equation. Now you have to balance it with the hydrogen atom. Here hydrogen atom contains 3 into multiply 2 contains 6 in reactant and product you have to 2 or here you have to multiply 3. So here is 3 and here is 3 you have to put it, or this can be maintained both the sides of atom. Now balancing the number of atoms in initial balance of Al in reactant side of Al is 1 multiply 2 and in the product side we have to multiply with 2 into 1. So this the equation becomes like 2Al plus 3H2O gives L2SO4 thrice plus 3H2. This is the balance equation. So you have to write down this type of atoms in both the sides which you have to contain, and it may both the sides of atom will be equal. Step 6th, to check the correctness of the balance equation of the number of atoms in the both the side. Here you have the equation you have to find out the both the sides of atoms are. The equation is balanced, but heat and trial method are we make trials to balance the equation by using the smallest whole number coefficient. And after step 7 mention physical state in the equation. This is the here is Al is solid, H2SO4 is a solution, L2SO4 is in solution and H2 is a gas. So you have to write down this type of physical states and conditions. Here the all the steps of the balancing the equation, how you have to find out this type of equation and can you would try to maintain the both the side of the same atoms of each elements. So you have to write down this type of the question answer of in exams. So trying to write carefully and reading this type of questions in exams, so you have to know very well. Okay, here is the paper is completed. So next videos you have to check this type of any question answer, so you have to watch this type of videos to subscribe this channel. Thanks you very much and knowing very well. Have a nice day. Take care.